Ancient Wisdom and Modern Science. Zoran's Great Adventure Through Time. Hello, young adventurers. It's me, Zoran the Dragon, flying in from a very special corner of the world. Now, I've been around for quite a long time, much longer than most of the trees, mountains, or even some of your great-grandparents. And let me tell you, during my travels through history, I've discovered some truly amazing things. But the most exciting part of my journey has been realizing that the ancient wisdom of dragons and humans, too, connects with modern science in ways that might just make your head spin, or your tail wag, depending on how much of a dragon you feel like today. Let me take you on a grand adventure where we explore how ancient wisdom and modern science are like the best friends who've been separated for a long time and now are finally reunited. And, trust me, it's one friendship that sparkles with magic. Zoran's Great Time Travel Adventure. It all began one sunny morning. Well, I say sunny, but it's often cloudy when I fly, so it was more of a lightly misty morning. I was flying over a quiet valley, admiring the trees and fields below, when I had an idea so magnificent that I almost swooped into a cloud and got myself all tangled up. I should have a party with ancient wisdom and modern science, I said out loud, causing a nearby mountain to echo back, Zoran, that's odd. But the more I thought about it, the more excited I became. You see, ancient wisdom is like the treasure chest of knowledge passed down through the ages by wise beings, dragons, humans, sages, and shamans. They knew things about nature, the body, the stars, and even how to make the best soup, which, by the way, dragons are experts at. And then, there's modern science, the clever, curious world of discovering things through experiments, measurements, and facts. Sometimes, modern science and ancient wisdom seem like they're from different worlds, like dragons and unicorns. But when you dig deeper, you realize they're more connected than you think. So, I did what any wise dragon would do. I flew straight to the past and the future to gather all the secrets, the ancient sages and their mystical wisdom. First, I decided to visit my old friend, Grandpa Dragon, who had lived in the Great Mount Wisdom for centuries. He's one of those dragons who knows the secrets of the universe by simply breathing. He was sitting by a fire, meditating, his tail making big swirly shapes in the air. "Ah, Zoran, my young dragon friend," Grandpa Dragon said with a smile that made his scales shimmer like the stars. "What brings you to my cozy little cave today?" "Grandpa, I've got a big question," I said. "How do ancient wise beings know so much about life, the world, and the stars?" Grandpa Dragon leaned in, his wings fluttering. "Well, young Zoran, it's simple. We've been paying attention to the world around us for eons. We listen to the wind, the water, the trees, and the stars. Nature has always had the answers. We just needed to pay close attention and learn how to listen with our hearts." I tilted my head. "That sounds a lot like science, Grandpa. Scientists today listen to the world too, don't they?" Grandpa Dragon chuckled. "Exactly. The ancients and modern scientists are both curious about the same thing, the world around them. The difference is that we dragons felt it with our hearts and intuition, while humans today use tools and measurements to find answers. But both paths lead to the same truth." I could feel my scales tingling with excitement. "So you're saying that modern scientists are like the dragons of today?" Grandpa Dragon winked. "Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that, but yes. Scientists and ancient sages both want to understand the same things. The only difference is their methods, and sometimes they discover the same things just in different ways." A surprise visit to the lab of Dr. Sparkle. After my visit to Grandpa Dragon, I thought it would be fun to check out the modern world for a bit. So, I flew straight to the future, where the humans wear funny hats with lights on them. There, I landed in front of a fancy laboratory called the Sparkle Lab, run by the brilliant Dr. Sparkle, a scientist who was always trying to figure out how things worked, like stars, atoms, and even how to make cupcakes glow in the dark. I knocked on the lab door, and a voice called out, "Come in. I'm busy experimenting with the properties of light." I peeked inside. Dr. Sparkle was juggling several glowing objects like a real-life wizard, and her lab was filled with interesting machines that whizzed and buzzed. "Dr. Sparkle," I said with a bow, "I've come to ask you something. How do you figure out the mysteries of the universe? Is it like the ancient sages used to do?" Dr. Sparkle smiled, her glasses glowing. "Ah, Zoran, excellent question. We scientists use experiments and technology to test ideas. But you know what? The ancient sages were scientists in their own way. They observed nature, made careful notes, and figured out how things worked through trial and error. It's a lot like the scientific method, just without the fancy machines." I felt my tail twitch. "So, they were like science detectives." "Exactly," Dr. Sparkle exclaimed. "They observed patterns, they asked questions, and they tested their ideas just like I do in my lab today. It's all about curiosity and wanting to understand the world around us, where ancient wisdom meets modern science." After my chat with Dr. Sparkle, I realized something truly magical. Ancient wisdom and modern science are both part of the same great journey. Whether it's the mystical knowledge passed down by wise dragons or the curious experiments conducted by brilliant humans, both are searching for the same truths about life, nature, and the universe. And sometimes, they discover the same answers just with different methods. As I flew back home, I thought about all the things I had learned. Ancient wisdom teaches us to listen closely to the world, to trust our instincts, and to be patient. Modern science teaches us to ask questions, test our ideas, and experiment with the world around us. And when we put both of them together like two halves of a dragon-shaped puzzle, we get a much fuller picture of the incredible world we live in. Zoran's grand conclusion. So, young adventurers, here's my advice. Never think that ancient wisdom and modern science are separate. They both offer valuable lessons and help us unlock the mysteries of the universe. Sometimes, the wisest answers are found by listening to our hearts and trusting our intuition, while other times, we need to use our brains and test our ideas. And who knows, maybe one day, you will be the one to bridge the worlds of wisdom and science with your own fantastic discoveries. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be found just like an ancient dragon's treasure. Until next time, keep soaring through the skies, my young adventurers, and never stop seeking the mysteries of the world. After all, the universe is filled with magic and science, and it's all there for the discovering. Zoran the Dragon, signing off with a laugh and a wink.